Whenever we're ready to start, tell me.
We've been started.
Well, you didn't say anything that was already rolling. Hey, everyone, it's JP Miller. Welcome.
Try again.
You said we have 30 minutes to do this. I have to pick up my kids.
I do. Hey, everybody, it's JP
you don't
Miller.
Get to start the show. That's always
And
been
you
my
say,
thing.
I'm Lessie McCarter.
And action. Hey, guys, welcome to This Is Real. I'm JP Miller.
And I'm Lessie McCarter.
Fall always makes me
love
think
fall.
of...
Hey, I don't know what's going on.
But seriously,
Hey, Sonny.
I love fall because of hoodies.
I do too. Okay, I am the hoodie, the boots, the sweatpants,
I
the
do enjoy
leggings and boots. How many scarves and cut off like mittens that I have that are all knitted and toboggans. It's coming. Just wait.
I just like hoodies because they hide all of your fat.
The next show that you guys see us on,
Let's wear
me and
hoodies.
JP are going to wear hoodies.
Deal. Ow, that hurt. I am a dancer
Scary.
in the local Dancing with the Stars thing that's a benefit for the United Way.
Yes.
Lessie's old-time friend, Becky Loomis of Loomis Construction, is my dance partner.
If you didn't see our show from last week, you've got to go watch it. Was that the tortilla smacking one?
Tortilla?
Yes.
Or, okay, we did a tortilla challenge. It was me, JP, and Becky while we're smacking each other in the face with actual wraps, like tortilla wraps.
So today we're going to play this fun game, and here's how it works.
Oh my gosh,
Waylon
guys.
has done some words, and he's going to stick them on our head. Here's the game. It's called
Okay, let's
Guess
play
What's
this.
on Your Forehead.
Yeah.
We'll have a minute on the clock, and it'll be a lot of fun. So at home, play along. We asked you guys to make some comments, and you don't. So thanks.
Ready and go.
Arrest.
Cop, police,
You got it. It's a call.
criminal,
Fast food restaurant. Gets paid for this.
McDonald's worker,
Close.
cashier, drive-through employee, fry guy,
Okay, close, but
custodian,
a
wipes off the trays at the food court,
what do you normally eat when you go through a fast food place?
hamburgers,
Okay, so take that first name.
ham.
No.
The first name of what?
No, take the word.
Ham, hamburger,
Okay, that. And then the opposite of a queen.
Krusty Krab. Krusty
What?
Krusty Krab from
What's the
SpongeBob?
opposite of a queen?
King, Burger King employee.
Yes.
Oh, I love Burger King. Thanks for sponsoring it.
Okay.
10 seconds.
Teeth. Cleaning.
Dentist.
Yep.
/ dental hygienist.
Dentist.
Crentist.
Someone that jumps out of a building. And
Parachutist.
it's going to be a hard one.
Yeah.
Parachutist.
That was a good one. It's a stunt man.
Oh, of course. Leslie, it's your turn.
Okay. Ow.
And go.
You cut meat. You're
A butcher.
you football, basketball, they need an adult in charge. They hang out in the locker room.
A coach. Waylon.
Okay. Bell, it's a fast food restaurant.
Taco.
Okay.
Taco Bell.
And then not a car, but a
Truck.
okay. And then you're going to get in the car and
Taco truck. Driver.
correct. Point.
Ow!
This is if you've used a lot of the toilet and it's clogged.
A
And you need to call
plumbing. Plumber.
Liquid.
Plumber.
Great. And then this is what Waylon is for a living.
A personal trainer.
Yes.
Ow, Waylon.
Caterpillar? Wait a minute. Oh, this is what Jesus was for a living, I think. No, his dad was at least. I'm sorry.
carpenter.
Yes. Did Jesus do carpentry work?
Ow!
This is someone that you get a divorce, so you need to call
lawyer.
Yes.
I said it.
I'll have to look back at the tape, see if she
I
got that
said
time.
lawyer.
She said lawyer.
All right,
Something.
30-second speed round.
Okay.
Go.
Opposite of basketball.
Football?
And then what is the person that has the jersey on?
Football player?
Yes. This person works in a garden and they own a lot of crops.
Farmer.
Yes.
Oh my God, it took forever, Waylon.
Sorry.
You go to this every week to help your brain.
Burger King. Therapist.
You kind of
Psychiatrist.
Yeah.
I only go
sure,
once a
just
month.
go. Just, yeah,
Psychologist?
psychologist. Yes.
That's
Okay.
hard to spell.
This is
Real.
opposite of a cat.
Dog catcher.
No.
Dog
but It
pound.
was close. It was dog trainer.
And go.
I'm a gospel.
Singer.
Correct. Waylon. I cook a lot and I have a white hat.
A chef.
Yeah. I wanted to do this when I was little, go through the trash and get it with my truck.
A garbage.
What is he? Not a woman, but a...
Garbage man.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do when I was little. This is something that I'm going to go around in my car and deliver foods to different folks.
Uber, DoorDash driver.
Yes, very
Yes.
nice.
And time. I ran out of stickers also.
Man, I am so thankful for this mirror here.
All right, that was pretty fun.
That was fun. Hey, guys, that was so much fun. Leslie, we were talking about, you've kind of got a year anniversary going on. You have a Bible study that you lead every week, like at your house.
Yes, this month is my 1-year anniversary for starting my Purpose Chasers ministry, ladies ministry. And we meet one time a month for a Bible study at my house. And then sometimes we'll go to a restaurant and just have dinner and fellowship. And it's people like random people. Some of them are my clients. Some are friends. Some are people that I've just known throughout the years. All these years, and it's just cool that God's bringing people together to encourage each other.
It's like a small group you do.
Yeah. So today I wanted to share, kind of finishing up on a little serious note. One thing I wanted to speak with my ladies on tonight is, since it's our 1-year anniversary, God kind of planted this thing in my head, this like little word to share with them about what can God do in 1 year? Because it's our 1-year anniversary, and I just thought, think about how fast time goes. I mean, it's almost 2023, and it feels like we just
started.
We just had
It's fall, and I feel like we haven't even done summer yet.
Right, and it's like summer's already come and gone. You know what I mean? And Christmas is in a couple months? I mean, it's crazy. So it's crazy to talk about or to think about how fast just time goes, but also what can happen in your life and my life, or what has happened, and I'm sure you can input something here that can happen so quickly in a blink of an eye. Like, you think you're going down this path, and then all of a sudden you blink and 3 months have gone by, or a year, and you're like, wow, I'm not doing anything that I thought I was going to do. I'm not maybe hanging out with those certain people anymore. I might be in a different season. I might be doing this. My kids may be doing this. My career might have changed. God has done this in my life. He's removed me from this. He's added this. What can happen in such a short period of time? And that's what I want to talk to my ladies about tonight. But first of all, I put these notes that what can God do in 1 year, 1 month, 1 week, 1 day, 1 minute, 1 moment. And when I was talking to Waylon about this, he reminded me, it's like the thief on the cross who in 1 moment, 1 moment, he gave his heart to Jesus. And now he's in eternity forever because he chose in that one split second that he looked over at Jesus and said, will you remember me in paradise? That's actually Luke 23:42. Remember me. He said, Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. And Jesus answered him, truly, I tell you today, you will be with me in paradise. Now, that's great for that criminal. He was a criminal. He was a sinner. He was doing bad things, and they were crucifying him on that cross next to Jesus.
Set the stage, Jesus crucified on the cross in the middle, you
had the two criminals on the other side, on either side of him.
Yeah. And so they were talking, they're dying.
Yeah, they're dying.
Hanging there.
And one is mocking him.
Yeah.
The one on one side is literally mocking Jesus, making fun of him, all this stuff.
Yeah, if you're so good, why don't you get us down?
I mean, it right here, and the other, and it says right here in Luke 23:40, one was mocking him, and the other one rebuked the other criminal. He rebuked him, and he said, don't you fear God? He said, since you are under the same sentence, we are punished justly, for we are getting what our deeds deserve. But this man has done nothing wrong. So the other criminal was talking,
like defending him.
Yeah, defending Jesus. And that's when he said, Jesus, please remember me in your kingdom. And truly I tell you, and Jesus said, truly I tell you, you will be with me in paradise. What's so sad is that other criminal, he died, guys. Either way, right? The one that was mocking Jesus, he died. He could have made the same choice and said, Jesus, you know what? Remember me too. And he didn't. One choice, 1 moment, one decision can change everything.
Eternity.
It can change everything. And so I wanted to briefly just talk about this, and I'm going to talk about this really quick. I know I've shared a little bit about Waylon and I and our marriage and some of the things we've gone through. And I've kind of shared our testimony a little bit, but I just want to encourage you guys today. During the season, while me and him, we were separated and we were going through this time, and everything, there was so much hurt and pain. And, we both made bad decisions. I made probably the most. I was the one really, running away because I just didn't think that there was any hope left. I didn't have any hope left. I really thought we are too far gone for God to heal us. We are too far gone. There's already been too much damage. I've already been through enough. I was already in another relationship with another man, and I was already planning on living my life and going forward and, thinking, God, I can't go back now. I can't. It's too much.
Too much is gone by.
And I will never forget this one week after years of Waylon and I being separated. Separated. I was in a relationship with another guy at the time. And that week, the Lord called me to fast and pray. Now, I know that sounds weird. Like, oh, what? The Lord, you can still pray and have a relationship with Jesus even if you're living in sin. And yeah, you can. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean that you should be living and continuing in that sin. And that's what I was doing. And he called me to fast and pray for 3 days. And I was just like, okay, like I didn't really know exactly what he was going to show me, but I knew I had a feeling it was something to do with my choices, but I didn't know. And again, I had already decided I'm not going. Me and his marriage is done. It's over with, blah, blah, blah. That week, I fasted and prayed for 3 days, and I just prayed and cried, God, okay, what is it that you want to show me? What is going on in my life? I knew it was something that I needed to draw closer to him. And after I did that for 3 days, he started to change my heart. My heart was so hardened. I still love Jesus. I still love people. Sure. I still proclaim the name of Jesus, but my heart was so hardened. This wall that at one time was like this big had grown like 50 feet tall. And I did not think that my marriage could be restored. I did not have any hope. And
you were done.
I was done. And literally after fasting and praying for those few days, God started doing something in me. He started softening me. And I just remember, like texting Waylon and out of nowhere. And I was like, what happened to us? Like, that's what my text was. He actually looked back at his old text. He still has this text in his text today from back in 2019 when I texted him and I said, what happened to us? And, and in that moment, we had started having a conversation that led to us saying, you know what? Let's give this one more shot, because I knew God was softening my heart. And guess what? I could have made that choice, guys, to let the fear continue, keep letting my heart be hardened, not letting the wall down. But guess what? God is bigger than what I think, what you think, what he thinks. He has a plan and he can flip anything upside down. And I know my story is a little bit different. How here we are 3 years later, we've been back together and God has restored our marriage better than ever, guys. Better than ever. Our marriage. Now hear me. I don't recommend anybody just making bad choices on purpose and be like, down the line, God will restore it. He can do it. Yeah, he can. But guys, don't do it. There was a lot of damage and things and hurts that we had to work through because of decisions made. There's always going to be consequences. There's always going to be repercussions for the decisions you have made. Actions, yeah. Even if you have ran back to God, he'll forgive you. He'll clean up your mess. But there were still hurts and broken. Yeah, for sure. So there has been that. And I don't think the Lord ever wanted Waylon and I to go through that. But because of the choices and, we did. And now he's using those things. He is taking our mess and he's turning it into a message. He is taking the test that we went through and turning it into a testimony. And that's what he does. But it was by our choice to say, thankfully, I have a husband who was like, yes, I'm willing to still work. After me, I was in a relationship at the time. You know what I mean? And I was willing to let everything go that I was used to, the comfortableness that I was in, put the fear down and say, okay, I got to try one more time. You know what, God? And it wasn't even for anything else. Yes, of course, I can sit there and say, oh, this was for Aaliyah, our child. Yes, we're definitely better together, for her. It's because this was God's will. God doesn't want anybody to divorce. He doesn't. It happens. But he was ready to restore our marriage, but it took both of us saying, okay, we're going to fight for this. Now, you may look and say, I don't deal with a marriage issue. It may be something else in your life. You know what I mean? JP has talked about his addictions. There's so many things. And I was telling JP about this. It's almost like, you start a diet, you start working out, you're like, okay, I'm going to start today. And you start feeling good about yourself. And then, you take one day off, right? You take that turns into 3 days. That turns into a week. It turns into months and turns into a year. And then before you know it, you're back in the same
fat.
place. You're back in that same place that you were before when you started and you were so miserable. You're overweight, but usually you're worse off because you're more depressed. You're more in a funk. You've gained all the weight and more back. And guys, that's kind of the same thing. Every day when we make that little choice, that little sin, that little thing, whether it's, you know what, I don't need to go to church today. No, I'm too tired to do that. And you make all these little excuses to turn away from God, the things of God, they start to pile up. They start to pile up. You say, you know what? I can sin one more day. I can go back to the drugs and the alcohol, whatever it is that's got you. I can go, flirt with that girl I don't need to, or that guy, or whatever it may be. Those little sins that we choose every day can really ruin and wreak so much havoc in our life. And they'll continue to wreak havoc in your life and cause so many problems until we turn back to the Father and run back to him and seriously run back to him, get rid of the junk. But the thing is those tiny little decisions are so important. One decision in one moment, just like the thief on the cross, just like the criminal on the cross. One of them decided, this is the Messiah. I believe. I'm asking him now that, to remember me. The other one rebuked him and mocked him. One's in paradise in eternity, and one is in hell.
Well, just like you had to make the split decision in your heart or your life to be like, I need to do that. I need to try one more time.
It's
you could easily have gone, I'm going to get on Facebook so I don't think about it anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or distracted yourself. But in that moment, in your mind and in your heart, you made a decision that was hard.
It was hard.
And
doing the right thing is not always easy,
it
too.
can be humiliating.
Especially when
it's so hard.
Yes.
It's just like overwhelmingly, especially when you're like, this is it. It's over. I'm done. Yeah. And like, it can be for anything in your life, that you're done with. Give it another shot. I heard a homeless man say that was not homeless anymore. He was talking about, he went to a church and asked if he could go in and use the bathroom and stuff. And they said no. Mm-hmm. And this lady came back out and said, I'm sorry. Yes, you can. And he said, because of that lady, he realized like she gave me another chance, and he turned his life around then. Yeah. If that lady wouldn't have let him go in to use the bathroom and been able to talk to him and encourage him, he might be dead, or he might, whatever. But it's just that split second decision of what are you going to do? Yeah. So like Lessie took that decision to do what was right, even though it might be hard, or even though it might not be popular, whatever the situation
I'm sure people thought I was crazy. I mean, I was in a relationship with a guy for 3 years on and off. And that's when, all of a sudden I had to flip and be like, I have to go work on my marriage. You know what I mean? Like, I have to go work on my marriage, And
what's important gets our time and our heart.
It does.
And so put your focus on what's important. If we only had, like we said earlier, if this was the last opportunity we had to ever talk publicly on Facebook, or what are we on YouTube, or I don't even know if we're a podcast, but anyway, this is real. If this was our last thing and we're like, okay, you're going to lose whatever your platforms or whatever it is, what is it that you're like, this is what I need to tell people, this is what my kids need to know, this is what you need to know.
What do we say? We are not promised tomorrow either, because what if that one decision, whether it's giving your life to Christ or whatever it is, telling someone else about Jesus so that they do, and then what if they die tomorrow?
What if we go out and make a turn on red and someone kills us?
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Don't know, but too. What my point is all these 1 minute, and I wrote this. This is so good. All it takes is one day, and one day is all God needs. And it's not even one day. I wrote day, but it could be a minute, a moment. God just needs one moment. It's like that, it's like the prodigal son. He was running away. He was living in sin. The minute he turned around and said, I'm coming home, his daddy was already there waiting.
And
his dad was there with open arms.
He was like, I want to come back. I'll work in the slop house.
Yes. He didn't think, and guess that's the same thing. If you have ran from Jesus and you're living in sin, all you got to do is turn around and just look back waiting. And just say, you know what, God, I'm here. The minute you start turning, you're going to see him. He's there waiting on you. That's what it is. But, our prayer today, guys, is that you're encouraged to just make sure that those little choices, those little moments that you're making in your life, where do you want to be in a year? You know what I mean? Like, where do you want to be next year? I always go back to diet stuff and nutrition and health, because obviously that's what Waylon and I do. But if you don't want to be where you are right now with your body, your health, your nutrition next year at this time, you got to do something. You got to change something if you want something to change.
If you want a different result, you got to do something different.
You have to do something different. So if you don't like the results that are happening right now, you probably need to be doing something different. Is it hanging out with different people? Is it, hey, you know what? I got to give up this job that may be a job that you really actually enjoy. But if it's taking so much time away from your family, you're stressed, yeah, maybe it's paying the bills, but if it's taking you away from the things of the Lord, or if it's causing you to sin in some way, God will open up another door. But you got to seek him. You got to say, God, you know what? There's something more. It doesn't matter what it is. Maybe you are in a relationship. I'm not talking about a marriage. If you are in a relationship with somebody, you're thinking about marriage or whatever, and you're like, this isn't fulfilling. There's something not right. It's not really bringing out any fruit. It might be a red flag. That might be God saying, look, this isn't the person for you. Okay. Whatever it is. But no matter what it is that you're facing today, if JP kept going back and saying, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to continue to do drugs. It would have continued. He may not even be here today. Yeah. You could be dead. Yeah. And that it's the same thing, guys. I have no doubt that I would have been dead spiritually and just in every aspect of my life if I had chosen to continue living the way that I was living. And that's the thing. It's one choice. One choice, one moment can really change everything. So where do you want to be next year?
Grace is, that's God's, I call it get out of jail free card. Mm-hmm. Because we are sinners. We are jacked up. We mess up all the time. The decision to accept Christ in your heart, to be a Christian, is a moment. A decision to make a bad or a right decision is a moment. So take whatever moment you have, even right now or today, and make the most of it, because we're not promised tomorrow.
We sure are.
That was a good wrap up, wasn't it? That was a good one. We both have to go get our kids. See you next time on This Is Real.
Thanks for joining us. Don't have a great day. Have a real.
It's not even funny.
Great day.
What was that?
Like a reel.
Like a reel. A reel?
Where's the reel?
We don't have a sign.
Oh God, this is gross.
Is it just black?
It's just cold and gross. I don't like coffee.
I love black coffee. Oh! Okay, I'm going to go pick up my child from school. God bless America.